Hey boyos, daily check-in with John V. March 14th, 2025. It's 9:30 a.m. I was up all night as usual. Well, I actually got up at like 2:30 in the morning because my sleeping habits are all fucked right up, but it doesn't matter. Um, so the past few months I've been pretty tardy with lifting and dieting. I did gain some of the weight back I lost. Initially, I had started at 265 and lost 35 pounds in 3 months, right? Which is solid progress. And I gained 10 pounds of it back, so I'm back up to 240. So it's not a complete fail because, right, if I can consistently lose 35, gain 10, lose 35, gain 10, it's a win in my book, right? Um, but I'm going to start lifting and dieting again. I've had a few lifting sessions, mostly bench, and I uploaded a few videos, 6 bench videos, not doing a crazy amount of weight, right? Just 135 for sets across, 15 reps, 12, 10, 8, 8, and 6. But that's still solid for not lifting for months, right? And not having an active lifestyle or following a proper diet. But I'm going to get back on it. Going to start dieting hard. Going to start lifting. I'm going to start lifting more instinctually, more so than following a program and doing boring shit that I don't want to do, like squats 3 times a week. Fuck that. I don't want to squat 3 times a week. Like, I might squat once a week and deadlift once a week. I might try to throw some lunges in there too, because lunges are amazing. But it's going to be a lot of bench. A fucking lot of bench. Like, 3 times a week, I'm going to try to bench. Throw some incline bench in there too, some overhead press, maybe some upright rows, bent rows. Occasionally, I might do chin ups. I really suck at the chin ups because I'm so fat, but I'd like to throw them in there once in a while, right? So I can keep getting better at them. And I'm going to start doing curls, and I'm going to try to hit curls, a couple times a week. I might do some close grip bench too, and I might throw in like side lateral raises for uh, the side deltoids. But typically, right now, what I'm doing, I just pick a lift and I do a whole bunch of sets, like 6 sets or so. So, like tomorrow, when I get up in the morning around 8 o'clock a.m., I'll probably do like fucking bent rows, probably do like 6 sets of those, 5 or 6 sets, right? Um, Probably not curls because I did curls there 2 days ago, and um, curls, I don't want to do curls by themselves. But at first, it's going to be a lot of bench, a lot of bent rows, a lot of chin ups, a lot of overhead press, and that's mostly it. I will do some squats and deadlifts sometimes. But after a little while, once I've got back some of my strength, I'll start doing like 2 or 3 exercises per workout, like 6 days a week, right? Like hour-long sessions. I'm keeping the rest times long between sets, 5 minutes, and just because I'm so poorly conditioned and my cardio is so bad that I need 5 minutes of rest between sets, right? Because if I did, like I did this morning, 15 reps with 135 and rested 2 minutes and came back to it, I probably would have got like 7 reps on the second set, and that's just not acceptable, right? So I'd rather rest 5 minutes and get almost the same amount of reps. But it was a good workout, right? Um, I'm not going to talk about much of anything else except for lifting and dieting in this video. Um, but yeah, I've been pretty tardy. But I'll get back to it. The whole housing thing is kind of up in the air. I'm going to be on the wait list probably for a very long time, a number of years. So I've got to become accustomed to living here with my sister. It's not so bad. I have to deal with certain people that are crazy, and it makes me feel like I'm crazy. Just because these certain crazy people, they've been crazy for so long that it comes second nature to them. So then I feel like I'm the crazy one. I feel like there's something wrong with me, and I know that there's not, because these people that are crazy, I don't spend a lot of time around them. And when I do, I start feeling crazy and I question my reality because, I didn't feel crazy when they're not around, but when they're around, I feel like I'm crazy, like something's wrong with me. And, I have to cut people like that out of my life because it makes my mental health worse. And my mental health has been pretty good. Like, it's my physical health that needs a lot of work, right? My mental health isn't perfect. I do need to see a psychiatrist for some of my issues I've had my whole life. But that will come in time. It's going to take some time for me to get shit done that needs to be done right. Like, it's so hard to do anything with almost no money, no car, and right, and it's a vicious cycle, right? If you're not working a full-time job, you lose desire to do anything with your life. Like, all the people I've known that worked and got laid off on EI for like a year, they literally would waste that year and just play like World of Warcraft the whole time and rot. Just eat junk food, not exercise, play World of Warcraft, and that's it. And stay up all night, sleep a few hours every day, and that's literally all they would do. Like, I've known people with big dreams of they're going to start working out 4 hours a day, 6 days a week, and they do it one day and then they don't do it again for a month. They do it again and then they never speak of it again. It's like, well, bro, like, doing a 4 hour workout 6 days a week, it doesn't make sense. Nobody does that. Competitive bodybuilders generally don't work out that much. Like, right. So I've seen a lot of videos about with professional bodybuilders talking about their training frequency and volume and all that stuff. And a lot of the bodybuilders, they're not training 4 hours a day, 6 days a week. So, and they're all roided up, and a lot of them, that's what they do with their life is work out. And they don't even work out 4 hours a day, 6 days a week. So, I have these airheads, and I've had these airheads in my life before, thinking that they're going to do some juggernaut training session 6 days, 7 days a week, even, or twice a day, 4 hours twice a day. And it's like their head is in the clouds and they're so brainless. But that's the kind of people I seem to attract into my life is airheads, people with, these really far out there ideas. And I got to start changing something, and I have been, because people like that are really out there with ideas that are senseless, it makes me feel more crazy. And I seem to attract crazy people into my life. And Nova Scotia, Canada, it's not surprising, right? Because most of the people I know that live in this neighborhood are on welfare. But the neighborhood I'm in is mostly public housing. So it's not surprising most of the people in those places are on welfare, right? And the people that aren't on welfare are usually working at like Tim Hortons or McDonald's or Walmart, making minimum wage or a little above, like 15, 16 bucks an hour. And there's no future in it, right? Like, I do know a very small handful of people that actually make good money, making 50 or 100,000 a year. But those people are few and far between, right? And even those people making that kind of money, in their spare time, they're just rotting. And I don't know any multimillionaires that are working 16-hour days, sleeping 2 hours a night, and working out, and doing all these things with their life. I don't know anybody like that. But like, I see these videos on YouTube of people approaching people to rap in their song that they made up or something, and they'll ask like 5 people and they get somebody that raps freestyle. And it's like, around here there's nobody that raps freestyle. Like, it must be if you're in the city, you're successful, and if you're in the country, you're a bum. That's what it seems like. And I've been surrounded by those kind of people my whole life, because I've always lived in the country where there's no future. And like, I have a friend, he used to be in Alberta. He was in Alberta for like 15 years, making big money, and he moved back. And we don't associate with each other. Like, what are we supposed to do? Here he is, he's making like 50,000 a year, and I make like hardly 10. So, there's a big gap there in income. And obviously, he would probably want to do things that are expensive. And I can't. There's no future in this province. I don't know if any of you boyos live in Canada, but don't come to Nova Scotia. Sure, come here if you want to retire. If you want to buy a cheap house and if you want nice scenery and beaches, sure, come here. If you're 65 years old and ready to retire and you've got millions of dollars in the bank account, yeah, by all means. But if you're coming here hoping to make a future for yourself or raise a family, this is not the place to be. This is not the place to be. You don't want to be here. Nova Scotia is probably top 3 of the worst places to be in Canada. The maritime provinces are trash. You can literally go to any other province other than the maritime provinces and you will be a hell of a lot more successful, have more of a future for yourself. Don't come here. Like, cruel people raise a family here because there's no future, right? And I don't want to say names because I don't want to offend people, right? But it's the same thing with the crazy people that I've known and know that make me feel crazy. Like, I know people that, they're young and they set out to do these things with their life and they don't accomplish what they set out to do. And that's typical of around here. I don't know of any freestyling rap artists in Nova Scotia, Canada. I don't know of any of them. I don't know of any, like, I do know of people who are successful with lifting and actually have some kind of career with lifting, surprisingly. I don't really associate with those people much, though. Like, I can think of one guy, he's a very successful arm wrestler, and he's been lifting for, 25 years or something crazy, arm wrestling for that long, too, and he's one of the best arm wrestlers in the world, right? And he lifts every day, and he's got, his own business, but that's not typical around here. That's not typical at all. And I typically don't associate with people like that because why would they want to associate with some loser bum like me, right? You are who you associate with, really. And I'd rather associate with nobody. Just work on myself. But, I have people tell me, they're like, get a job. And it's like, what am I going to do? Work at Tim Hortons, work at McDonald's, make minimum wage, pay the bills, and have nothing left over? I'm not doing that, right? Now, if I was in a richer province or in the States even, I could get by with a job. But the problem, too, is I don't really want to work. I have no desire or ambition. And I know a lot of you boyers will jump on that and say, you're a lazy fuck, get a job. But the problem is, too, I have mental health issues, and that's why I don't work. I spent literally more than 20 years of my life working full-time jobs. And I gained absolutely nothing from it. Nothing. I have no resources built up. I have no finances in the bank. I have nothing. And well, that didn't feel good. And now that I don't work, I find I have more money. Getting less money, but I find I have more of it. And the reason probably is because when I worked, I would literally go to McDonald's every day for lunch, buy a Big Mac meal or buy 3 burgers, something like that, and that would cost $12. I'd buy a pack of smokes every day, and that was at the time, 15, $20, right? And that shit adds up. I can't afford to buy cigarettes that way. I buy them all off the internet, and they cost me $500 for 6 months worth, which is very reasonable. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. I know I've been pretty tardy with making these videos, but that's gonna turn around because I'm gonna get back into lifting, get back into dieting, and making these videos every day. And I know New Misc is pretty crappy, really crappy. There's a lot of users on there pretending to be a well-known user. Get Her Done is not the real Get Her Done, because he messaged me when everybody switched over to the New Misc, and he said that guy with the name Get Her Done is not really me. And that's right. And Surf Apps-A-Lot. The Surf Apps-A-Lot on the New Misc is not the real Surf Apps-A-Lot. So you gotta question if you're actually talking to the real guy or not. But I am really me, obviously, because nobody's gonna fraud being some loser bum like me. And what are they gonna do? Wear a fucking mask and a fat suit, pretend to be me, right? And obviously, it's my face is pretty realistic looking, right? So it's really me, boyos, and you should know that. Um, but I don't know what else really to say. I'll probably cut the video off there, and I'll see you on the new misc.